Hello and welcome to another Rust video. This is one of my only English videos because I went back to Dutch streaming and YouTubing. But because I couldn't find any tutorial or explanation about crossbreeding, the yield and every exact detail on how much cloth you would get per Y, I decided to make this video in English and in Dutch as well. I made a base in Builder Sanctuary. I'm gonna share the link with you in the description below, so you can walk inside this base as well to check everything out and test everything for yourself. What I'm going to do is read up the signs that I made inside. They are Dutch. I'm gonna explain them in English, and I'm gonna walk you through the crossbreeding system. Welcome to the crossbreeding tutorial by HayaPlays. We got a few stages of the seeds. Stage 1 is seed, stage 2 is seedling, stage 3 is sapling, stage 4 is crossbreed, stage 5 is mature, fruiting, ripe, and of course, dying. The first stage is the sapling stage. That's the clone phase. In this phase, we have to collect as many clones as possible with at least 3 green circles and maximum of 2 reds. At some point when you have about 30 clones, we're gonna try to crossbreed them. When we come to the crossbreed stage, we will have to place 1 standard seed in the middle. We need to wait for it to become a sapling, and then we place the 4 best clones that we have in the corners to make the best seed possible. After crossbreed, we get the mature phase. You don't have to do anything here. All you have to do is wait. In the fruiting stage, you also have to wait. It simply means it's fruiting. So you have to wait until it's at 100% so you can harvest it to get the most amount of berries, cloth, corn, pumpkin, potato, whatever you want. At ripe, you can harvest. At the dying stage, you were too late. You were probably raiding or roaming. Please calculate a little bit for yourself at what time you need to be back at your base to harvest the ripe stage. Because when it starts dying, you can't harvest it anymore, and everything you had is gone. So the genes that we have is hardness, growth, yield, water, and blank. Hardness simply means how strong is the seed against the weather conditions. In this case, in Rust, we are only talking about cold. In the winter areas, you probably need 1 or 2. In desert, you probably only need 1 for nighttime. And in the forest, you need none of them. Growth means how fast the plant can grow. Yield means how much the plant can yield. Water, simply how much water does the seed require to grow. Make sure you have none or maximum 1 in your seed, because the more you have, the harder it will be for your water pump and your sprinklers to maintain the planter. X is simply a blank. It doesn't have a positive side and it doesn't have a negative side. The only negative thing is that you actually have a useless spot, which you could have had a G, a Y, or maybe even an H. To explain the math, red has a worth of 1.0 and green has a worth of 0.6. So if we check the example above, we have 4 clones, and below we have our finished clone. So if we look at the first row of our clones, we have G, G, Y, H. So the G is 1.2 points in worth, the W is worth 1 point, and the H is worth 0.6. So the final result would be a G. If we look at the next one, we have X, X, Y, Y. The X's have 2 points, the Y has 1.2, so the X wins and it becomes an X. H, X, H, Y. The X is 1, the H's are 1.2, so the H wins. Same for the next one with G. And the second part is a little bit interesting because we have Y, W, Y, G, X. W is 1 point, Y and G are 0.6, and X is also 1 point. So what happens here is that you have a 50% chance of getting a W or an X. In the last row, you have the same with H and Y. You have 50% chance for a Y or an H. I'm gonna show you the calculations of berries and what berries to farm and what berries not. The best berries in my opinion are red, yellow and blue. Green and white are only used for scrap farming and radiation potions. The radiation potions currently don't work, so yeah. Why would you make them if they don't work? And scrap only works for barrels. Making the potion will take a lot of time. And to do that on a scrap run on barrels is pretty risky. Unless you're playing on a low populated server, then it could be possible. But I would not recommend farming them. Just go for red, yellow and blue, since they can make the wood or health and max health teas, which are very useful. I also did all the calculations for you. 6 Gs takes 49 minutes to create 3 berries. 5 Gs and 1 Y takes 53 minutes to get 4 berries. Then you have 58 for 4, 64 for 5, 74 for 5, or 88 for 6. The best seeds, in my opinion, would be the GGGYYY for 64 minutes to create 5 berries. If you look at cloth, it's a bit different. If you look at 1Y and 5 Gs, we get 48 cloth out of 1 plant when it's ripe, and out of 1 planter 432 cloth. When we clone the samplings, we only get 2 clones per sample. If you go to 2Ys, we get 56 per ripe plant, 3 clones, and in 1 planter 504. When we go 303, it's 64, 3 clones, 567, 76 in a planter. When we go to 4Ys and 2Gs, we go to 71 cloth, 4 clones, and 639 in a planter. And here comes the weird thing. When you go to 4Ys, which you think would be better, you actually get less cloth. And why is that? It takes longer for the plant to grow, so you will lose a little bit of cloth. Also, you're not getting an extra clone, so 5Ys and 1G, in my opinion, is one of the worst seeds you can get. If we go to 6Ys, you get 1 clone extra, less cloth, and also less in the planter total. So the best seed, in my opinion, is 2Gs, 4Ys, because you get 639 cloth in 1 planter. Now, I'm going to show you how it works with the crossbreeding. I already explained it, but I want to show you how it actually goes in the planters. So what we do is we only plant seeds in the corners, because when they connect, they crossbreed. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm in the build server, so I can just type grow to let them grow, so it goes faster. In vanilla and the normal servers, you have to wait, give them water and sunshine. So now I got the plants in the stage sapling, and we're going to clone them by holding E, and we click on take clone. Now we got 2 rows of clones, and they're not all the best. Like, we got a really good one here, XYGGGH. We got a few bad ones. Now, all you have to do now is you have to mix them up and try to create the perfect clone. Luckily, we have a good website for that. www.wgn.si. This is a website that actually lets you fill in all the clones that you have, and the calculator will tell you which seeds or clones you have to combine. And sometimes it even says don't combine because the best seed that you can make you already have. And in this case, it will probably be the same. It will probably tell us that the YGGGHX is the best clone that we currently have in our inventory. So the best thing you can do is always go up to 30 clones, fill all of them in on the website, and then calculate out what you have. I'm gonna take you to the website and I will be back in a second. Welcome back to the website. This is Rust Genetics. You can type your desired clone. So you type 2G, 4Y, or whatever you want. You fill in the crops that you have. And in this case, it says which crop is the best currently in my inventory. But if I will make a few different crops and I will add them, it says calculate. And now it will say that this one is the best. If you have a few different ones, it actually puts up 4 in the screen. And you will have to mix them with 1 normal seed. And then you can actually create the perfect clone. How you're going to do that, I'm going to show you right now. Welcome back. This is just an example because I don't have a good match. But all you have to do is you put a normal seed in the middle of each planter. And you're going to wait for them to reach sapling stage. When they reach sapling stage, you're gonna put 1 of each clone in the corners that you want. Once the middle plant reaches the next stage, crossbreed, it will turn into the clone that you wanted to create. As you can see, you had a 50% chance on XY, XW, YG, HG, GX, and then the H and the X were permanent. This is the clone that you just created. This is, of course, not the best clone, but you have to keep doing this and doing this. The best way to do it is to create 30 different clones, put them in the website, and try to create the best clone out of all the clones that you have. The website is a big help because you don't want to be writing everything down on paper and calculate which one is the best. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to make any more videos in English. I just decided to do this one because I noticed that there weren't many videos on YouTube that actually explain the yield of cloth in a video per type of seed. So I hope this is useful and it will help you decide which clone you are going to use next wipe. Have a good one and see you later.